Welcome to the sacred number 7, where we look into a number that has shaped stories around the world. A number that seems to follow us through scripture, through myth, through nature, and through the quiet turning of our own lives. It's the number 7, a number that so many traditions have called sacred, divine, or complete. And when we look closely, it's easy to see why. 7 has a way of appearing in places where meaning gathers, as if it's woven into the structure of life itself. In the ancient world, 7 was seen as the number of God, the number of creation, the number that marks the bridge between the earthly and the heavenly. There are 7 days in the week, 7 colors in the rainbow, 7 notes in the musical scale, 7 classical planets, 7 virtues, 7 sins, 7 heavens. It's a number that carries weight, a number that feels like a cycle closing and another beginning. Raphael, the astrologer of the 19th century, believed that the number 7 shapes our lives in a very real way. He taught that every 7th year brings a test, a turning, a moment when the moon forms her quartile aspect to her own place. He saw these years as times when life becomes unsettled, when the soul is stretched, when something inside us shifts. He called them unfortunate years, not because they're bad, but because they tend to bring change, challenge, or transformation. And when we look at our own lives, we can see echoes of this. Childhood changes at 7, adolescence begins around 14, adulthood takes shape at 21, and the late 20s bring a deep re-evaluation. Even relationships often tremble around the 7th year, a moment we still call the 7-year itch. Psychology offers explanations, but psychology doesn't hold all the answers. Some rhythms feel older than science, older than reason, rhythms that seem to rise from the soul itself. The number 7 has always been linked to spiritual testing. In scripture, 7 marks the completion of creation, but it also marks the trials of prophets, the cycles of purification, the moments when faith is refined. In many traditions, 7 is the number of the journey, the number of the seeker, the number that asks us to look inward and understand ourselves more deeply. And maybe that's why the 7-year cycle feels so real. It's not just about astrology, or psychology, or biology. It's about the way we grow. Every 7 years, something inside us changes. We shed an old layer, we step into a new one, we learn something we weren't ready to learn before. It's as if life gives us a gentle push, saying, "It's time now, you're ready for the next chapter." Raphael believed that the moon guides these cycles, that her rhythm shapes our emotional life, our memory, our inner world. And whether or not we follow his system exactly, the idea itself carries a quiet truth. The moon moves in phases, and so do we. We wax, we wane, we grow, we rest, we rise again. And every 7 years, the cycle turns, and we're invited to step into a deeper version of ourselves. The sacred number 7 reminds us that life isn't random. It moves in patterns, in seasons, in rhythms that echo through the body and the spirit. It reminds us that growth comes in waves, that change arrives with purpose, that every test carries a lesson, and every lesson carries a blessing waiting just beyond it. And so, when the 7th year arrives, we don't need to fear it. We can honor it. We can recognize it as a moment of truth, a moment of transformation, a moment when the soul is being shaped for what comes next. 7 is the number of the seeker, the number of the spirit, the number that whispers, "You're growing, you're learning, you're becoming who you were always meant to be." Thank you for watching, and I hope you gained some insight. I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe, and please join me for the next episode in the Raphael Cycle series.